Alrighty. The monthly candles are in, so I want to do a high level breakdown of major indexes, ETFs, as well as each sector, and I'll probably hit some crypto as well. Let's start with the Dow Jones average. So we closed at 456, pretty much flat. MACD is looking good on the monthly. Looks like it's flipping bullish, and RSI is ascending towards 70. So overall, good news there. Monthly candle completely engulfed our previous July candle and closed near the highs. Looking healthy and strong with the Dow Jones. SPY, similar story. MACD flipped in June. RSI is holding. What's the chart? RSI is holding strong. It's a little bit oversold or overbought, so it could be time for a slight pullback here, but it does look relatively strong on the longer time frames. If we start zooming in, you can see I have some anchored VWAPs on some important candles. So uh, I anchored to this region here because this was a key inflection point that was the high before the breakout, and then there would be a potential gap fill. So anchoring there, you can see where we wicked into this on the daily, and then the 65-minute that has been support. If we zoom all the way in, you can see that we ripped off of this pivot point here, which came into play August 1st. Bounced from that VWAP. Buyers were in control almost this whole time. Sellers were failed to break it down. 3 separate occasions. Finally broke it down, but not for long. Jackson Hole ripped us higher. Anchoring to Jackson Hole, we did just reject. So this is looking relatively weak in the short term. I do think 640 is in the cards for SPY in the short term. We'll see if we break and go to 630 or 625. Overall, monthly chart is looking really good. I think the bull market is still intact. We did just flip lower and then break bullish on the MACD, and RSI is not completely overextended yet, so there's still room. QQQ, similar story, looks very similar to SPY, so not too much to cover here. Very similar candle structure as well. IWM has shown some extreme relative strength in the last month or so. MACD has finally flipped bullish, and RSI is above 60. So overall, that is all very good news. This is a name that I'll be diving into the top holdings like Credo, Fabrinet, Patos, Bloom Energy, etc. Charting all of these, seeing what has the most relative strength, and looking to express my thesis or build positions in them as we potentially see some weakness in the month of September. Uh, Dollar looks like MACD is widening and RSI is going lower, so that is good. It closed at 97 and rejected the $100 roll last month. Jumping to Bitcoin, monthly chart looks relatively bearish. It looks like we may have double topped and tweezered lower. You could definitely see us going testing maybe 99 or something near it. I'd be interested to see what this monthly VWAP is here. Yeah, so 103 I think is going to be the first test, which would coincide here. So let's just do this. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Definitely see like this range coming into play. Let's go weekly. If this range comes into play, I would be looking for a bounce here. If not, I think that's very bad, but I would expect a bounce there. If not, hopefully at 95. But we just have to be patient and see. Similar with ETH, let's jump to the monthly chart of ETH and anchor a VWAP here and see where it points us to. The 27.7. And anchor another one here, go weekly, and you can see we're still holding this trend as well. So worst case scenario, we might touch 380, 350, and hopefully buyers step in control. It does look like we did break below this initial level here that came into play. So 4,000 It's probably going to come into play, maybe 3,800. We shall see in the coming weeks. Solana, similar chart structure as well. Not bearish. I think it needs time, but could potentially chop in the 200s here now that it's been made its way all the way up from 100. But not really concerned about Sol. Looking at ARK on the monthly, I think ARK is a really good name to figure out how beta names are trading and the overall sentiment around them. RSI is at 65, so it's very healthy. It's strong. We did close red this month and with an inside candle, and we rejected the 80 print. So I do think it is possible we go see 68. We could even possibly go see 64s, 65, and I would be hopeful for a breakdown, bounce, and then hopefully higher. We will see how ARK plays out with interest rates potentially coming down. Gold's looking extremely good. Monthly charts breaking out above to all-time highs. It broke that 315 resistance on GLD. So I don't know. This thing's probably going to the moon. We'll find out. IPO is an additional ETF that I think it's small caps and new IPOs only. This is looking really, really good. I think this is it points to the times we're in the market itself. IPOs are coming very strong. Charts are looking good. Anything that is being mispriced from the VC and banking side. We just made all-time highs. We closed at the highs. It's looking really strong, and we're above that 48 resistance level that it touched in 24 and early 25 about 4 or 5 times. So really looking really good here. This would be another ETF I would use to grab these names, chart these, figure out what has the most relative strength, and look to add in it. Which definitely there are some names that I'm aware of and that I am holding within that list. TLT still chopping, stuck between 90 and 80. I definitely think it will probably get a bounce here or a pop, but price action will tell us if that happens. The US 10-year is stuck in this ascending wedge between extreme was 3.2 and 5. And we've just been chopping between those two extremes for about 2 years now. Definitely think we may see some downside movement on this, but possibly after the month of September. Jumping to the sectors, let's just go alphabetical. Biotech has been stuck in this range. It's looking relatively strong. It did bounce really, really strongly off the 66, wicked higher, and has seen 3 months of green, so that's good. RSI is just ripping into 50, so potentially setting up for a bullish run here. If it can break above 60, I think I might be interested in it. MACD looks like it is flipping, so from a momentum standpoint, it is healthy. But I am not interested in biotechs as a sector. I would be looking at some individual names. If I were to express a thesis here, I would drill down further. Delete that. Oil and gas monthly. It bounced hard off the 50s and has been green for 4 months in a row and just kind of stuck in this 50 to 70s range. We just touched 70 and closed the high, so I do think we end up pushing higher. I do think it could be possible that we go retest 100. I would be interested in an 85 retest first, and then we will go from there. But definitely looking to express if September is in fact weak, it is possible that oil and gas names are the sector rotation where the money flows for that month. Home builders looking really, really strong with potential rate cuts changing. MACD is now curling up. RSI exploded off the 50 and is now at 60. I definitely think we have room to go higher, and I'm looking for names within the sector to express that thesis. Materials looking really good. Pretty much engulfed the whole July sell-off and closed at the high of the candle. RSI bounced off 50 and is now towards 60, and if it does break out, I definitely think it has room to go possibly into the 80s. Communications looking great as usual, thanks to Meta and Google. Pretty sure Google just printed all-time highs, so nothing to really comment there. MACD's curling up on the energy sector as well. We've had 4 months of green after the massive sell-off in April, and we are continuing to push higher. So I do think we may wick into 95. If we reject that, we'll see where it goes, but I don't see why we would reject it anytime soon, especially in September. This could be a potential for some alpha to be generated there. Financials, all-time highs, looking extremely strong. MACD did not cross over and signal bearish. It is now looking like it might start widening again. RSI is at 70. AMB broke to all-time highs, closed at the very top of that candle. Very, very constructive and looking very healthy. Industrials with an inside green candle. Nothing too concerning about this. It did flip in April and then ripped back bullish, and then RSI is at 70s right now, so it does have the ability. And before it was at 90, it's been to 90s before. This could happen. 90s, 83, and 82. So if we break above 70, maybe we get a little retest and then it's closer to higher. 164 would be the first target from a fib if you're eyeing it that way. So technology was red this month, and it has seen some underperformance. I think it was flat. QQQ was flat for the first time in X amount of years for the month of August, but that is okay. It looks like, as you can see, other sectors are doing well and looking healthy. This doesn't look bad. It's just an inside candle. It broke to all-time highs and then sold down. I think we could see some retest of maybe 245, but I would be interested to see where their VWAP is at. Yeah, so 235 would be at the absolute worst case scenario, and I would absolutely expect buyers to step in who are buying this, generational discount in April. Jumping to staples, so this looks terrible. Rejected the all-time high it printed and sold all the way down. This is very bearish hammer. I do think we probably see something like this over here happen maybe again, but it is because you kind of have that hammer here. It failed, sold up, and then failed again. We will see how it unfolds. I definitely don't think this is a bullish structure. MACD is flipping lower, and RSI looks to be going lower as well. XLRE, which is real estate, looking relatively healthy. It pretty much almost engulfed the whole July candle. Bullish hammer. RSI is flat but rising. MACD has compressed and is looking really tight on the monthly. So something to be have a watchful eye on. If we can break above this structure here, I think a close above 43 would probably give you 44 relatively easily, and then 46 maybe. Looking at utilities, this sold off as well. This is not looking great. What's that? Just happened. But MACD, so monthly candle printed all-time highs and sold off. RSI rejected. I do think we probably go see 81. Any names in this are most likely, peaking in the short term. We'll see where they end up over the course of September and going into the new year. Healthcare just kind of stuck in a range due to probably UNH and all the other news around all the healthcare stocks. Don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. It doesn't look like an unhealthy consolidation by any means, but a new floor has been made at 127, 126. We'll see if we get any candles to close above the 137, 135 range. It looks really good right here because it closed at the high of that candle. The body pretty much engulfed almost all last 4 months of price action. Consumer discretionary is looking really good. It did not print all-time highs, but it did not flip bearish on the MACD, and RSI flattened and then ripped higher. So we are back above 60. We did not break below 50. And looks like we are most likely going to go see the 80s here, potentially 75s or so. I would be interested to see if it can break above this prior high in RSI and the first time it sold off the 240s. Lastly, semiconductors as a sector is looking really healthy, even with the most recent sell-off in NVIDIA and a few other names, AMD, etc. Avgo today uh, just kind of fell apart, but it looks really good from a monthly standpoint. We ripped off of the April lows. Zoom in a little bit so I can fix this. So we look really good. I think the average buyer who bought the breakout is probably still, yep, still in the green and would be most likely willing to step in to defend their position if we come see these lows again. This wick to me is a good sign of that. We were here for a moment and it was bought up dramatically and we ripped higher, made all-time highs and sold off. So it is possible we go test 272 on the semiconductors, which would mean there's more pain to come in NVIDIA, Avgo, A-Labs, Credo, Intel, etc. But this is a good name, a good list of stocks to be looking at to see if there's any relative strength in this space. I know Marvel just fell apart off earnings because they missed as well. So, um, other than that, we can look at equal weight. Equal weight looks relatively good. We broke out all-time highs as we should. Extreme bullish candle. Kind of indecision on the daily. Weekly, we closed red, but we're above the 187s. We bounced off of that, still looking really constructive. And then a monthly, you can see we completely engulfed this previous candle that sold off, as well as this tweezer top, and everything's looking really good from an equal weight perspective. I do also want to look at micro caps. So micro caps have been showing some extreme relative strength. You can see we broke out of this prior resistance at the tweezer from December and November and printed a short-term high. We are looking to most likely go test the 151 highs, and if we're able to break those out, 165, in my opinion, is possible. MACD did flip about 2 months ago, and RSI is looking really strong. It looks like it's going to go retest this former high of 65. But that's all I have for today. If you have any questions or want me to do any charting, please comment, let me know, and follow me on X. You can always hit me up there too if you have any suggestions, comments, or thoughts. Appreciate it.